There we go. It's clear. Hello. Hi. Oh my God. This feels weird. Um, this feels weird only because I haven't been here recording. I haven't recorded a video in 6 months, 7 maybe. Um, so yeah, here I am. Here I am back. Hello. If you've been on my channel before, you've seen me before, you've watched my videos before, thank you for being here still, because I know it's been a minute since I have been here. So thank you for continuing to show up for me. It's appreciated. The reason that I'm back is because obviously I love filming. I love filming content, um, but also I just have things I more importantly want to talk about, because I really want to get into the nitty gritty of why I really started this channel, because I got kind of close. I got a little close, kind of, about certain topics on here when it came to like what I was talking about, but I never like truly named it and like really got into it, because I don't know, for some reason I was a little scared. um, but I'm no longer scared, and I am here to talk about what I truly want to talk about. Um, so I'm going to get into it. So I have notes over here that I made for this video on my handy dandy laptop. So I'm going to look over here and like also speak to you guys, because I want to come prepared. I want to make sure I remember what I came here to talk about. um, what I came here to talk about. Um, I came here to talk about spirituality and psychology slash counseling, like how they're similar, because those are my two interests in life: mental health, healing, spirituality, purpose, all of that. That is my purpose. That is my passion for life. So yeah, I want to talk about that. So one of my first points on here is when I notice the similarities and how they are interconnected. So basically, at the end of 2024, I'm really going to get into my story a little bit here, my life a little bit, of how I started like taking my spirituality seriously. So yeah, so I noticed them at the start of my healing journey, which was at the end of 2024. I was not at a point that I wanted to be at in my life in 2024, 2023, 2022. It was, I would say, from the middle of 2022 to the beginning of 2025. No. Hold on. I'm mixing timelines. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get this timeline right, because during this period I was so heavily dissociated. I was barely in my present reality. So let me try to properly remember this. So 2022, the beginning of 2024. There we go. There we go. During that time period, I was depressed. um, I was quite depressed in my head. No one in my real life knew. At least I don't think. If you're watching this, people in my real life, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I was overthinking in my head constantly about where I was in my life, like my purpose. at the time, like between that period, I felt so hopeless. I felt so hopeless. I was just really going through it mentally. Um, you know how you're, like I mentioned, I was like so dissociative. I was dissociating a lot. Um, you know how you just like hate where you are in life, so you just try to escape by just being in your head, um, thinking about scenarios and whatever, just to make the time go by quicker. That was me. That was me because I was like, I need to get out of this reality. I need to get out of this reality. So I didn't want to be a participant in it, basically. So I would just not mentally in my head. Um, a lot of breakdowns in that time. A lot of breakdowns at work. I worked a what's it called, an overnight shift, where I had to be there from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. and that was honestly my worst period ever because I just truly genuinely did not want to be there, and I felt so useless. I don't know a better word to describe it as, but I just felt like, what is life? Like, I can't believe this is what I am doing. Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard it, but it was like a bang. Anyway, I like had this goal of like what I wanted to be in my life. It was 2022. I graduated college in May of 2022, and I was like, I need to move to a different city for the summer. I'm going to move back home for the summer, save up money, go to a job, and save up money so that I can move out of my parents' house. I can move to a new city, have my own apartment, and live happily ever after. That was that was like my plan. I was like, I need to start my life immediately after college. I need to start it immediately, or I'm not going to be happy. So basically, I did not end up moving out of my parents' house and out of my hometown until May of 2024. So I was there. I was there. I was there for 2 years. I was there for another 2 years. And yeah, I was spiraling. It was not a good time for me. I was spiraling a lot. Um, and the thing about me is I am great. I'm a master at hiding what I'm going through internally. Um, like unless you like specifically ask me like what's wrong, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to show it. I may be I can show it in different ways though. I can a little sort of be like a little passive aggressive, very easily irritated. Very easily irritated. So sorry to anyone that came across me in that time. Um so I was not at my best for sure. It was strange. I was at the end of 2023. I came across a video on YouTube about like a pick a card reading, and all throughout college, I would watch these. Like, mostly it was about like pick a card about like your love life, your love life or whatever. Because I was like fiending to be in a relationship back then. It was crazy. But I don't very much care anymore at this point in my life. But back then, yeah, I needed to figure out any small ways like of how love was coming to me. So I would watch a lot of pick a card readings. None of which came true, by the way, but it's fine. It's fine. So, but to be fair, the pick a card readings did very much resonate with me. Like at that point in my time, at that point in my life, even if it wasn't like, even if I didn't end up meeting someone, like the things of like what she was saying about what I was going through and how I was feeling, it was like, oh my god, this is so me. Like it just like things like that just resonated. Like so, I graduated college and I hadn't watched a pick a card reading in a while. Like I used to watch them very consistently in college, but then I like stopped. Um, and like those pick a card readings like give you hope. They like make you happy. They give you a little bit of hope and like make you feel like just the smallest bit of joy, even if it's like a little bit delusional. It's like it's still fun. Like they're fun, you know. Um, so anyway, I hadn't watched a pick a card reading in a while since 2022. Um, but then the end of 2023, going through it mentally, literally breaking down at work. This was one of the days where I would like, I would be by myself at work because I worked at a group home, a small group home, 8-bed group home, small. Um, and like nights where I was feeling a lot of like emotional distress, I would like wear one of my hoodies and throw it over my head and just like start doing what I needed to do for the job, like mopping or sweeping, and while I'm bawling my eyes out. Like while I'm bawling my eyes out, like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Is this what my life has amounted to? Like, sorry, it's not funny. It's not funny, but but it's just crazy looking back because I was anyway. Let me move on. Um, so it was one of those nights. It was one of those nights, and I like had finished doing everything I needed to do. And at that point, I was just waiting to have to cook breakfast for the residents. So while I was waiting for that time to come, I went on YouTube. I was just casually scrolling through videos that I wanted to watch. And a pick a card reading comes up. I'm like, oh my God, wait, that's crazy. A pick a card reading hasn't come up on my For You page on YouTube in a while because I haven't watched any in a while. And it said, This Was Meant to Find You. That was the title of it. So I was like, let me click it. Let me click it and figure out what this has to say. Because I'm like, I haven't watched one in a while, and this feels meaningful because I'm like going through it right now. So like I will take any bit of like hope that I can get. So I watched the video. Guys, this video is literally what shocked me back to life. I wish I could remember the creator's name of this video, but oh my God, it resonated so heavily that I like started to see the light again. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is like everything that I'm going through right now, everything that I'm feeling right now. And yeah, it was like every single thing she talked about in that video was resonating with me. So when I got back home, not that morning because obviously I had to go to sleep. Like I've been up through the night. So like but anyway, like the next few days or something like that, I end up journaling about the video, like everything that resonated, like how well it resonated, and everything she said in the video. And I end up writing down because I was like, I need to get this. I need to like get this down on paper because this is insane. Like this is insane. It's in my journal back there, but I'm not gonna read it. I'm sorry, I'm not. Maybe one day, but no one know. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it shocked me back to life. I started to have a little bit more hope again. I started to like watch more pick a card readings, watch more things about spirituality in a sense where it was talking about like things happen for a reason, everything happens in divine timing. And this like brought me a lot of hope, and like brought me out of that like pit of despair and like hopelessness about my future. Um, so yeah, a few months, maybe a couple months after I watched that video and started to be a little bit more positive about my experience and where I was at in life, and like realizing that everything happens for a reason. I literally have that tatted on my leg. I got it when I was this was the first tattoo I got um at 18. It's on my leg. Or it was 19. Anyway, 18, 19. It's on my leg. Everything happens for a reason. Um, and I believed it at that time, but I was like, everything happens for a reason because I am in control of it. No, no. Um, this was different because I started to believe that everything happens for a reason, like once you let go of that control. Like that was what it was for me. Because once I started to slowly accept that, that is when I like heard like or I got like positive news about moving and having a new job opportunity where I could potentially move to a new city. So yeah, I was like very happy. I was like, oh, this is like insane, like the way everything is lining up. After me watching that video, it quite literally felt like divine timing. Because yeah, like I said, I got I heard back from a job in Philly, which is where I live, um, and which is where I live now because I'm from Tennessee, and that's where I was living with my parents. And this is where I was looking to move. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go no, because it's not meant to be. I'm not worth it. But turns out I am. So yeah, I heard back from a job. I went down a couple months later, apartment hunted for the first time by myself, um, found an apartment, and then moved to the city. Like, it was just crazy, like how it was all working out for me. Like once I decided to like let go of control and then like really believe that everything happens for a reason. And also like believing that I still have a purpose in this world, because I think that's what was really getting to me. Like at the time, I really felt like I was meant for more. You know how you just have that feeling that you're just like meant to do more in your life than your small town that you were brought up into. You know, that's what I was feeling, and because I was what felt like trapped there for 2 more years after I graduated college, it like felt like that was all a lie. Like maybe I'm not meant for anything, and maybe it's just me being delusional, and maybe I am meant to just grow up and like stay in my hometown forever. And that was really devastating me. Um, but obviously, that's not true. That wasn't true. And I'm just happy that I was able to figure that out. Um, because yeah, I really wanted to do more with my life, and now I am. So, all right, moving on. But yeah, so that's how spirituality helped me. Just like realizing that I still do have a purpose and that everything happens for a reason, divine timing, yada yada, all that, right? So basically, what spirituality um, is to me, and what it is overall, is it's about like discovering yourself and how you can be like the best version of you, right? So that's spirituality. Therapy, counseling, psychology is about it's about healing your mental health struggles so that you can be the best version of yourself. This is what counseling therapy is mostly about. So again, this video is about like how they're similar. I know I just like went on like a tangent about like my whole life story, but that's because it's important. It's important to like how I believe they're interconnected because, like I said, they're my two main interests in life. I'm literally in school right now for mental health counseling to get my license or my master's. I have my degree in psychology, I and yeah, I just obviously like as I've like gone through studying spirituality and mental health, I've just like noticed the similarities. So that's what I'm just pointing out here. So therapy, counseling, like I said, is about healing your mental health struggles so that you can be the best version of yourself. And how do you become the best version of yourself with spirituality? How do you do that? Shadow work, practicing gratitude, mindfulness, and learning to have compassion for yourself and others. That is spirituality at its core. There are other things as well that comes with spirituality as well, but to me that is like what I was mostly practicing when it came to my spirituality. How do you become the best version of yourself with counseling and psychology? Journaling, which is the same as shadow work basically. Reframing your thoughts. What is that? That's CBT. That's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. That is CBT, which is the same as practicing gratitude. And then mindfulness as well. Mindfulness is also incorporated into counseling and therapy. It's a DBT skill, learning how to have compassion for yourself and others. That is also a similarity with counseling that compares to with spirituality. Those are, I have them literally listed in the same category because they are the same. It's literally the same. Like learning how to have compassion for yourself and others is important, so that it just brings you closer to healing and like viewing yourself and others in a more positive light so that you move forward in life with more grace. So yeah. Um but just because they are similar doesn't mean there aren't any differences. Um, so the differences are spirituality is about discovering your purpose and figuring out how to be in alignment to your purpose with self discovery, self acceptance, self compassion. Um, and you can also do this with counseling skills too, but that's not what it's mostly about. Um, Counseling mostly is about healing, healing through processing your thoughts out loud to have more mental and emotional clarity about your experiences. This is how I've personally defined counseling. Um, but as you can see, there still are differences between the two. And that's why I don't think they are completely the same thing, but they do absolutely overlap. And I just find that beautiful. So basically, if anyone is interested in counseling slash therapy, please, I would suggest looking into deep. All right, and this is where my mic died. um, so I'm just gonna finish talking about what I was talking about, which was I was saying that if you are into counseling and therapy, you should definitely look into deepening your spirituality, looking into spirituality, because I know it can really help, especially if you were like me between the years of 2022 and 2024, then it can really help you, like to make you feel like you have a purpose and that you just need a little bit more time and figuring out the direction that your life is going. So also I wanted to mention that spirituality, if you are looking to get into it, it's not about believing in something. It's about learning to love yourself mostly and realizing and understanding that you do have a purpose and that you're here for a reason. You're here to make your dreams come true. You're here to unlock whatever potential you have inside of you. So like learning to realize that is important to your growth as a human, that you can be whatever you want to be. And that is how it was really able to help me. So if you believe in divine timing and that everything happens for a reason, and then you're not going to want to rush the process of life. And that's what I really needed to understand at that distressing time in my life. And also something that I wanted to mention that I didn't talk about in the video is that spirituality teaches patience. So that is really what it was, the main thing of what it was for me is like learning that patience and like knowing that my time will come. Like whatever I'm wishing and hoping and dreaming for will come to me. Also, I wanted to mention that I did eventually get myself into therapy. I had a lot of financial issues, especially when I moved out and moved to the city for the first time, which I will talk about in another video, because that is like being here and moving in the city by myself and living by myself for the first time is what really allowed me to deepen my spirituality because I had another moment where I was going through it. Like I eventually did get myself into therapy, like once I was able to afford it. So I was just recently in therapy like a couple months ago. So yeah, I also wanted to mention that I was nervous making this video. I really was. So I hope that whatever I was talking about in the video was able to come across in the way that I wanted it to. Um, so yeah, that's all I have for you guys though. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I really, 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 really appreciate it. You really don't understand. I really do. So yeah, on this channel, I will definitely be making more content about spirituality. So if that's something you're interested in and you're looking to learn more about, please think about subscribing to me. I would really appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. I will see you later. Bye.